Are you ready to dive into an epic adventure of Greek mythology? In this video, we'll explore the legendary feats of Hercules as he faces the 12 labors, impossible tasks that challenge his strength, wit, and courage. From defeating the invulnerable Nemean lion to capturing the fearsome Cerberus from the underworld, each labor is filled with dangers and challenges that will test the greatest hero of all time. Prepare yourself for a story of valor, cunning, and determination that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Born from the union of Zeus, the king of the gods, and Alcmene, a mortal woman of extraordinary beauty and virtue, Hercules' existence was a testament to divine power and mortal resilience. Even as a baby, Hercules displayed prodigious strength, an early sign of his destined greatness. Hera, Zeus' wife, enraged by her husband's infidelity, harbored a deep and constant hatred for the child. From the moment of his birth, Hercules was marked by Hera's wrath, his life set on a path filled with dangers and trials. Hera's vengeance began early, and her malice knew no bounds. In a fit of jealousy and spite, she sent 2 serpents to kill the infant Hercules as he lay in his crib. However, even in his infancy, Hercules was no ordinary child. With strength that belied his tender age, he grabbed the serpents with his tiny hands and strangled them, emerging unscathed and triumphant. This remarkable feat sent shockwaves through the realm of the gods, marking Hercules as a force to be reckoned with. As Hercules grew, his strength and bravery only increased. He became a man of extraordinary prowess, celebrated for his heroic deeds and unbreakable spirit. Yet, Hera's enmity did not wane. Her influence was felt in every corner of his life, turning even the most benign moments into harrowing trials. The hero's journey was not just a series of physical challenges, but also a testament to his inner fortitude, a constant battle against the relentless hatred of a goddess. Despite Hera's ongoing plots, Hercules' destiny was to become a hero whose name would resonate through the ages. Each trial he faced, each labor he undertook, was not just a test of his physical strength, but also of his character and determination. It was these trials, known as the 12 labors, that would ultimately define him, shaping his legacy as the greatest of all Greek heroes. The Nemean lion. The first of the legendary 12 labors of Hercules was to slay the Nemean lion, a beast of monstrous size and strength that terrorized the region of Nemea. This lion was no ordinary creature. Its skin was impervious to weapons, making it invulnerable to arrows, swords, and spears. Undaunted, Hercules set out to confront the lion, driven by a determination to prove himself and complete the arduous tasks set by King Eurystheus. Upon arriving in Nemea, Hercules scoured the land for the fearsome beast. He eventually tracked it to its lair, a dark and menacing cave with 2 entrances. Realizing that conventional weapons were useless, Hercules devised a clever plan to trap the lion inside the cave. Blocking one entrance, he entered through the other, ready to face the creature in hand-to-hand combat. The battle that ensued was fierce and brutal, a true test of Hercules' strength and cunning. Hercules grappled with the lion, using his immense power to overpower it. After a relentless struggle, he managed to grasp the lion by the throat, strangling the life out of the monstrous beast. With the lion finally subdued, Hercules skinned it using its own claws, the only tools sharp enough to penetrate its hide. Cloaked in the impenetrable pelt, Hercules emerged victorious, completing his first labor and solidifying his reputation as a hero. Returning to King Eurystheus, Hercules presented the lion's skin as proof of his triumph. The king, both astonished and terrified by Hercules' feat, forbade him from entering the city gates, fearing his formidable strength. From that day on, Hercules wore the lion's skin as armor, a symbol of his victory and a constant reminder of his unmatched power and bravery. The Lernaean Hydra. The second labor assigned to Hercules was to defeat the Lernaean Hydra, a monstrous serpent with multiple heads that lurked in the swamps of Lerna. This fearsome creature, created by Hera to kill Hercules, possessed the terrifying ability to regenerate 2 heads for everyone that was severed, making it seemingly invincible. Hercules embarked on this dangerous journey, determined to overcome the beast and surpass the challenge. Upon reaching the swamp, Hercules sought out the Hydra, whose mere presence tainted the land with a miasma of venom and decay. As he confronted the Hydra, its many heads writhed and snapped, each more vicious than the last. Undeterred, Hercules began striking, severing one head after another, only to see them multiply before his eyes. The battle seemed endless, each victory turning into a greater challenge. Realizing that he needed a new strategy, Hercules called upon his nephew, Iolaus, for assistance. Iolaus, quick-witted and resourceful, suggested using fire to cauterize the stumps of the severed heads, preventing them from regenerating. Together, they devised a plan. Hercules would sever the heads, and Iolaus would use a burning torch to sear the necks. This cooperation proved effective, and gradually, they began to gain the upper hand. In the end, Hercules faced the Hydra's immortal head, the source of its deadly power. With one final, powerful strike, he severed the head and buried it deep beneath a rock, ensuring it would never rise again. Victorious, Hercules dipped his arrows in the Hydra's toxic blood, imbuing them with lethal venom for future battles. He returned to King Eurystheus, completing his second labor and furthering his growing legend. The Ceryneian Hind. The third labor assigned to Hercules was to capture the elusive Ceryneian Hind, a magnificent creature sacred to the goddess Artemis. This deer, with its golden antlers and bronze hooves, was famed for its speed and agility, making it nearly impossible to catch. The challenge was further complicated by the fact that Hercules was forbidden to harm the sacred animal, adding an element of skill to the task that tested not only his strength, but also his patience and ingenuity. Hercules set out on his quest, tracking the hind through dense forests and vast plains. For an entire year, he pursued the swift creature, always a step behind but never giving up. His persistence was unwavering, and his respect for the sacred nature of the animal kept him from using force. This labor became a test of endurance and dedication, pushing Hercules to his limits. Finally, after a year of relentless pursuit, Hercules saw his chance. He carefully aimed his bow, not to kill but to slightly wound the hind and slow it down. With precision born of exceptional skill, he shot, causing the hind to stumble. Seizing the moment, Hercules gently bound the hind and began the journey back to King Eurystheus, taking great care with the animal's well-being throughout the trek. Upon returning, Hercules encountered the wrath of Artemis, who demanded an explanation for the capture of her sacred hind. Hercules, with utmost respect and honesty, explained his labor and the necessity of his actions. Moved by his sincerity and reverence, Artemis allowed him to complete his task, and Hercules released the hind back into the wild. This labor, unlike the others, highlighted Hercules' ability to balance strength with compassion, further solidifying his status as a true hero. The Boar of Erymanthus. The fourth task required Hercules to capture the Boar of Erymanthus, a massive and ferocious beast that terrorized the countryside of the Erymanthus mountain. This monstrous boar, with its razor-sharp fangs and uncontrollable rage, posed a significant threat to anyone who dared to approach it. Hercules undertook this challenging mission, prepared to face another dangerous challenge that would test his strength and courage. Hercules traveled to the mountain Erymanthus, where the boar had been wreaking havoc, destroying crops and villages in its path. He devised a plan to drive the boar into the deep snow, where its movements would be hindered, giving him an advantage. As he tracked the beast, the terrain became more treacherous and the air was filled with the sounds of the boar's destructive stampede. Hercules was undeterred, his determination as unwavering as the mountain itself. Finally, Hercules confronted the boar in the middle of a snowy landscape. The boar charged at him with terrifying speed, its fangs gleaming menacingly. Hercules, agile and powerful, avoided the initial charge and pursued the boar into deeper snow, where he began to tire and slow down. Seizing the opportunity, Hercules fought the beast, using his immense strength to subdue it and bind it with chains. With the wild boar captured, Hercules began the arduous journey back to King Eurystheus. As he approached the king's palace, the sight of the monstrous boar filled Eurystheus with fear, and he hid in terror. Hercules presented the boar as proof of his triumph, completing another task and showing his incomparable bravery and resources. The story of Hercules and the boar of Erymanthus became a testament to his ability to conquer even the most formidable adversaries. The Augean stables. The fifth labor assigned to Hercules was to clean the Augean stables, an overwhelming task that was considered impossible. The stables, owned by King Augeas, housed thousands of cattle and had not been cleaned for years, resulting in a massive accumulation of filth and waste. The enormity of the task was daunting, but Hercules, undeterred by the challenge, saw an opportunity to demonstrate his ingenuity and cleverness. Hercules approached King Augeas and proposed a deal. He would clean the stables in a single day, and in return, Augeas would give him a tenth of his cattle. Skeptical but intrigued, Augeas accepted the bet. Hercules then devised a plan to accomplish the task without resorting to pure physical labor. His solution was as bold as it was ingenious. He would divert the courses of the rivers Alpheus and Perneus to wash the stables clean. With the rivers redirected, the water flowed through the stables, washing away years of accumulated filth in a matter of hours. The immovable mass of waste was swept away by the powerful currents, leaving the stables spotless and pristine. Hercules' cunning and ingenuity had turned what seemed like an insurmountable challenge into a quick and efficient victory. However, when Hercules returned to claim his reward, King Augeas refused to honor the agreement, arguing that the rivers had done the work, not Hercules. Enraged by this betrayal, Hercules took his case to the courts and won, securing his rightful share of the cattle. This labor, more than any other, showcased Hercules' intellect and strategic thinking, proving that his heroism was not just a matter of brute strength, but also of ingenuity and wisdom. The Stymphalian birds. For his sixth labor, Hercules was tasked with defeating the Stymphalian birds, a flock of man-eating creatures with metallic feathers that could be launched as deadly projectiles. These birds had infested the Stymphalian marsh, terrorizing the inhabitants and defying all attempts to be driven away. Hercules undertook this mission with determination, ready to face yet another formidable enemy. Upon reaching the marsh, Hercules found the task more challenging than anticipated. The dense vegetation and treacherous terrain provided the perfect hiding place for the birds, making it nearly impossible to approach them undetected. The metallic feathers of the birds glinted menacingly in the dim light, a constant reminder of the danger they posed. Hercules, however, was not easily intimidated. Recognizing the need for a strategic advantage, Hercules called upon the goddess Athena for assistance. Athena, always supportive of heroes, provided him with a pair of bronze castanets crafted by Hephaestus. With these noisy tools, Hercules climbed to a high point overlooking the marsh and began to clang the castanets together. The cacophony of sounds echoed throughout the marsh, frightening the birds out of their hiding places. As the Stymphalian birds took flight in a frenzy, Hercules seized the moment to attack. He drew his bow and unleashed a volley of arrows, each one finding its mark with deadly precision. The once menacing flock was quickly decimated, their metallic feathers falling harmlessly to the ground. With the marsh finally safe, Hercules returned to King Eurystheus, successfully completing another labor and further enhancing his impressive legend. The Cretan Bull. The seventh labor required Hercules to capture the Cretan bull, a powerful beast that had been wreaking havoc on the island of Crete. This bull, sent by Poseidon to King Minos, had become wild and uncontrollable, terrorizing the land and its people. Hercules set sail for Crete, ready to confront the mighty creature and bring it under control. Upon arrival, Hercules was greeted by King Minos, who, though cautious, granted him permission to pursue the bull. The bull had been rampaging across the island, its immense strength and fury leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. Hercules tracked the beast to the plains of Crete, where he prepared to engage it in a battle of strength and skill. Hercules confronted the bull, its massive form and ferocious behavior presenting an intimidating sight. With a combination of agility and brute power, he managed to evade the bull's fierce charges, gradually wearing it down. After a prolonged struggle, Hercules grabbed the bull by its horns and wrestled it to the ground, using his incredible strength to subdue the beast. With the bull finally captured, Hercules bound it and brought it back to King Eurystheus. The sight of the mighty bull frightened the king, who once again cowered in fear. Hercules, ever the hero, presented the bull as proof of his success, marking another labor completed. The story of Hercules and the Cretan bull became a testament to his unparalleled strength and indomitable spirit, further solidifying his legacy as a hero of legend. The Mares of Diomedes. The eighth labor assigned to Hercules was to capture the Mares of Diomedes, a quartet of man-eating horses owned by the brutal Thracian king Diomedes. These wild Mares were notorious for their insatiable hunger for human flesh, making them a formidable and terrifying challenge. Hercules undertook this dangerous mission, determined to subdue the monstrous steeds. Upon arriving in Thrace, Hercules confronted King Diomedes and his men. A fierce battle ensued, with Hercules displaying his unmatched combat skills and strength. He managed to defeat Diomedes and his warriors, taking control of the fearsome Mares. However, the challenge was far from over. The Mares, wild and uncontrollable, posed a constant threat. To tame the Mares, Hercules devised a clever plan. He fed Diomedes to his own horses, satiating their hunger and pacifying their savage nature. This act not only neutralized the immediate threat, but also demonstrated Hercules' strategic thinking and ruthless efficiency. With the Mares now manageable, Hercules undertook the arduous task of leading them back to King Eurystheus. The journey back was fraught with dangers, as the Mares remained unpredictable and volatile. However, Hercules' perseverance and vigilance ensured the safe arrival of the Mares at Eurystheus' court. Upon presenting the Mares, the king was filled with terror at the sight of the monstrous horses. Hercules, as always, presented the Mares as proof of his triumph, completing another labor and further solidifying his legendary status. The Girdle of Hippolyta. The ninth labor required Hercules to obtain the Girdle of Hippolyta, the queen of the Amazons. This girdle, a symbol of her authority and prowess in battle, was a gift from Ares, the god of war. To acquire it, Hercules had to travel to the land of the Amazons, a formidable society of warrior women, and negotiate or fight for the possession of the prized object. Hercules embarked on this mission, prepared for both diplomacy and combat. Upon arriving in the land of the Amazons, Hercules was received by Queen Hippolyta. Initially, the queen, impressed by Hercules' reputation and respectful demeanor, agreed to give him the girdle without conflict. However, Hera, ever vengeful, sowed discord among the Amazons by spreading rumors that Hercules intended to kidnap their queen. The resulting confusion and anger led to an all-out battle between Hercules and the Amazons. Amidst the chaos, Hercules fought valiantly, his strength and skill unmatched. Despite the fierce resistance, he managed to defeat the Amazons who challenged him while trying to minimize unnecessary bloodshed. Finally, after a hard-fought battle, he secured Hippolyta's girdle, a testament to his bravery and resilience in the face of adversity. With the girdle in his possession, Hercules returned to King Eurystheus, presenting it as proof of his victory. The labor had tested not only his combat skills, but also his capacity for diplomacy and leadership. Through this trial, Hercules demonstrated that he was not just a warrior, but a hero capable of navigating complex challenges with honor and integrity. The Cattle of Geryon. The 10th labor assigned to Hercules was to obtain the cattle of Geryon, a fearsome giant with 3 bodies, 3 heads, and 3 sets of arms and legs. This prized cattle was guarded by the equally formidable Orthrus, a 2-headed dog, and Eurytion, a powerful herdsman. Hercules embarked on this epic journey, traveling to the distant island of Erythea, where Geryon resided. Hercules' journey was long and arduous, filled with numerous challenges and obstacles. He traversed vast lands and faced many dangers, but his determination and strength never wavered. Upon reaching the island, Hercules immediately confronted Orthrus and Eurytion. With swift and decisive action, he defeated the 2-headed dog and the herdsman, clearing the way to Geryon's cattle. The final confrontation with Geryon was one of Hercules' most formidable battles. The 3-bodied giant, with his immense strength and multiple limbs, was a terrifying opponent. Hercules, undaunted by the giant's fearsome appearance, engaged in a fierce and intense battle. Using his incredible strength and strategic acumen, Hercules ultimately overpowered Geryon, killing him and securing the prized cattle. With the cattle in his possession, Hercules began the long journey back to King Eurystheus. The return journey was fraught with challenges, as he had to protect the cattle from thieves and predators. However, Hercules' perseverance and vigilance ensured the safe arrival of the cattle at Eurystheus' court. This labor, more than any other, highlighted Hercules' endurance and ability to overcome insurmountable obstacles, further solidifying his place as a legendary hero. The Apples of the Hesperides. The 11th labor required Hercules to obtain the golden apples from the Garden of the Hesperides, nymphs who tended the sacred grove. These apples, a gift from Gaia to Hera, were guarded by the fearsome dragon-laden. Hercules embarked on this arduous quest, knowing that the path to the apples would be filled with dangers and uncertainty. During his journey, Hercules faced numerous challenges and sought guidance from various gods and mortals. One such encounter was with Prometheus, whom Hercules freed from his eternal torment by killing the eagle that perpetually devoured his liver. In gratitude, Prometheus advised Hercules to seek the help of Atlas, the Titan condemned to hold up the sky, to obtain the apples. Hercules approached Atlas with a proposal. If Atlas would retrieve the apples, Hercules would temporarily take his place bearing the weight of the sky. Atlas, eager for a respite from his eternal burden, agreed, leaving Hercules to bear the immense weight. Atlas journeyed to the garden and returned with the golden apples. However, Atlas, enjoying his newfound freedom, proposed to deliver the apples himself, leaving Hercules to hold up the sky indefinitely. Hercules, ever the strategist, pretended to agree but asked Atlas to hold the sky temporarily while he adjusted his position. As soon as Atlas resumed his burden, Hercules took the apples and made his escape, outwitting the Titan. He returned to King Eurystheus with the golden apples, completing the labor. This trial demonstrated not only Hercules' physical strength but also his cunning and intelligence, further enhancing his heroic legend. Cerberus. The 12th and final labor assigned to Hercules was to capture Cerberus, the three-headed guardian dog of the underworld. This daunting task required Hercules to descend into Hades itself, confront the Lord of the Dead, and bring back the fearsome beast. Undaunted by the prospect of facing death itself, Hercules embarked on this final and perilous journey, determined to complete his labors and secure his immortality. Hercules' journey to the underworld was filled with challenges as he navigated the dark and treacherous realm of the dead. Upon reaching the gates of Hades, he sought an audience with Hades and Persephone, the rulers of the underworld. Hercules respectfully requested permission to take Cerberus, explaining that it was the final task required to complete his labors. Hades, intrigued by Hercules' audacity and strength, agreed on the condition that Hercules subdue Cerberus without using any weapons. Hercules approached Cerberus, the monstrous three-headed dog, with caution and determination. The beast lunged at him, its 3 sets of jaws snapping ferociously. Hercules, relying on his immense strength and unyielding will, wrestled with Cerberus, eventually overpowering the fearsome creature with his bare hands. With Cerberus subdued, Hercules bound the beast and prepared to return to the world of the living. Emerging from the underworld, Hercules presented Cerberus to King Eurystheus, who, as always, was terrified by the hero's achievements. With the completion of this final labor, Hercules' journey came to an end, his heroism and strength immortalized in the annals of mythology. The story of Hercules and his 12 labors became a testament to his unparalleled courage, endurance, and ingenuity, securing his legacy as the greatest hero of ancient Greece.